What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Retro Review. I'm the Bearded Geek. Joining me, as always, is Mikey the Freak and Bebo.
So, folks,
Today, we are going to be reviewing the 1986 movie Little Shop of Horrors. This movie was directed by Frank Oz, written by Howard Ashman, and it starred Rick Moranis, Ellen Green, and a bunch of other cast that I'm not going to get into. There's a whole list of cast, a whole bunch of big names in this movie. So, Mikey, why don't you tell us a little bit about this movie?
yeah, so it kind of starts off big musical number at the beginning, kind of goes into what the movie is going to be all about. However, we meet Seymour Krelborn, which is played by Rick Moranis. He was an orphan. He actually had been brought in by Mr. Mushnick, which he owns Mr. Mushnick's Skid Row Flower Shop
Mhm.
right there on Skid Row. As everybody knows, the terminology Skid Row is always used for like the slums, the
Right.
worst part of the city, you know, down on your dumps type area of a neighborhood. So we meet him. The character is more of a um, low self-esteem, not confident type character, looking for approval from somewhere. You know, like I said, he's an orphan, so the only person he really has is Mr. Mushnick, and Mushnick, played by Vincent Gardenia, is always treating them like crap, talking down on them, making him sweep the floor, doing real grunt work, not treating him like an actual son like he feels he should be. So we meet Ellen Green, which is Audrey. So Audrey, played by Ellen Green. She always talks to Seymour like he is actually supposed to be. He's the best. She builds his confidence. So
Hmm.
that's really what he confides into her to push him up and try to be a better person than what he is. You know, he's going to get out of Skid Row. They all don't want to be there at all. They're looking for that one thing that's going to get them out of the slums. So lo and behold, total eclipse of the sun. Seymour Seymour loves rare and exotic type plants, so he's over at this Chinese place where they sell clippings and rare and exotic type species of plants. And turns around and boom, he sees a Venus flytrap type shape creature.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly what it is. Knows that it's probably a Venus flytrap, so takes it back to the Skid Row florist, starts to die. They put it in the window, right?
Hmm.
The best part of the movie, I think, is when they start putting it in the window and people start coming in. They get excited. They're like, "Man, that's rare. I've never seen that before." And
Hmm.
they think, "Wow, this is going to get us out of the slums. We just made $100 worth of roses." But by that actor Christopher Guest, which was also a surprise cameo.
Yeah.
Um, so it starts to turn around, starts to build up momentum. Everybody's coming in, they're buying tons of flowers, they're so excited. You know, they're like, come see the plant again tomorrow. It's going to get bigger and more interesting. So come to find out, it's starting. Looks like it's starting to die towards the end. You know, of that little scene, and it wants attention. It's starving
Hmm.
for attention, basically. You know, the gist of it, right? It doesn't want Seymour to leave it alone. So we can't figure out what he wants to eat. He wants to get big. Come to find out, this plant, instead of plants, desert, sun, mud, whatever the soil is, the plant is, he wants blood. He loves blood.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah, that was a funny part too. It's like what the okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So um so he cuts his fingers on a roses and boom, he wants that blood. He tries to bite his finger off, which is another funny scene in the movie. Um, So it goes through where the plant ends up getting bigger off those few drops of blood at the end of that scene, and lo and behold, boom, he starts to prick every single damn finger to feed this plant to make him get bigger and stronger and more interesting. Because he's like, you know what, this is going to get me out of this hellhole of Skid Row. I'm going to make tons of money and go for it. So, again, what we expect, plant gets bigger, more interesting. And we start to meet this character. We go back into Audrey, Ellen Green's character, a little bit, and she's dating Steve Martin, played by Dr. Orville, played by Steve Martin, and he beats the shit out of her. He's a very dominant character, right?
Yeah.
Which it's unexpected in a movie like this. You're thinking, okay, it's more of a musical number. Maybe the horror part is the venomous fly trap that loves blood. But then we see an abusive boyfriend that is the turning point on what we need to do to keep this plant alive. Audrey he can talk. He starts talking in the movie.
The plant,
Audrey 2.
Audrey 2 starts to
Audrey
talk
2, yes.
in the movie. Sorry, yeah, Audrey 2 starts to talk in the movie, and tells him, Seymour's character is kind of shocked. They're like, "What the hell? You can talk to?" He's like, "Feed me, Krellborn. Feed me now." So you're like, "Holy shit!" Now the plant has an attitude. So, so they can see what's going on across the way after the date that Audrey and Dr. Orville goes on. She's very scared. He starts to beat her. They see this, and they have a musical number where they need blood. They can't find it from anywhere else. They're going to chop them up and kill them.
Looks like plant food to me. Looks like plant food to me.
You need blood, and he's got more than enough.
That's right.
Yeah. So a big turn with that type of character. He went dark. He tried to kill him. He showed up at his dentist office, tries to kill him, and Steve Martin's character ends up dying on his own because he has an asphyxiation with gas, with laughing gas, with nitrous oxide. Almost like it's his cocaine, that's his crack. That's his drug that he goes off.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so he's constantly, sucking on this stuff. He has a portable nitrous oxide thing that he's going. So after that point, accidentally kills himself. So made it easy on Seymour to dispose of him. Gets them up, chops them up, feeds them to Audrey 2. A little bit later, it bothers him the whole time. He doesn't know what's going on. What did he do? He's in shock. Come to find out, Mr. Mushnick's character, Mr. Mushnick that owns the shop, saw him the whole time chopping him up. So he didn't know what to do. He got scared. They walk upstairs and accidentally pushes him back into Audrey 2, and Audrey 2 kills him as well and eats him. Yeah. So gets rid of the evidence. He knew he was going to jail. He thought it was all over, and boom, they survived, right? He's past this point. So that solidifies that Audrey 2 was there, that was sent from outer space to make him a better person, more confident, and to get him out of Skid Row. So he basically ultimately told him that it was inevitable. Like he was his lucky charm to get him out. He was sent there on purpose. So going back into after that part, Audrey tries to take over, and also tries to get rid of Audrey. So Audrey 2 tries to eat Audrey because Audrey 2 wants Seymour by himself.
Right.
He wants him only. We don't care about anybody else. Let's just focus
caretaker.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So he wants him to be alone. It's just him and Audrey 2, just Seymour and Audrey 2, no one else. So he tries to eliminate him on his own. And that's where Audrey 2 tries to basically take care of Seymour, tries to kill Seymour towards the end, pulls the entire building down on him. And after punching him in the balls, which I thought was a hilarious.
I'm gonna bust your balls.
So towards the end, after the building collapsed, he finds an electrical cord, shoves it onto Audrey 2's vine, so to say, as arm, leg, whatever the hell it was. Electrocutes him. Says, "Oh shit!" It explodes. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. But it kind of, the moral of the story, what I liked about the movie, this was the first musical I ever saw as a kid. So it kind of has a childhood place with me as well. And I love Rick Moranis in the 80s, you know, with Spaceballs and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids a little bit later. He was huge around that time frame. So he was a very entertaining as an actor. But what I really liked about it, it had comedy parts in it with Bill Murray's character in the dentist office. That enjoys the pain. Steve Martin's character also is his song.
John Candy in it too.
John Candy is Weird Wilkinson. So they brought a lot of the 80s Ghostbusters back out of those movies from 84 to 86. So what I really liked about it, it had a moral behind it, meaning that the you know, don't have the low self-esteem, always have confidence in yourself, and confidence in that person that builds you up can be anybody, and you might not realize it until it might be too late that person is the one that is building confidence in you, or you could even fall in love with the least person that you'd expect it. So that's pretty much it. What you got, Kevin?
Well, I got an interesting fact about this movie. Let's see. The film cost nearly $30 million at the time, and it was Warner Brothers' most expensive movie for the time. So I thought that was a very interesting fact, because the sets and stuff did not look it looked like it was on a sound stage. Like you could tell it was a sound stage. It had that
it actually looked like a play. Like nothing really looked like movie quality.
Yeah, it looked like a high budget play is what it looked like.
So Audrey 2 was a giant puppet, because they brought Jim Henson's crew, because Frank Oz, the director, does the voice from Miss Piggy, and asked Jim Henson to come along to do the puppeteering for Audrey 2. So anywhere from a 12-foot Audrey, the biggest Audrey was 12 foot tall. It took 60 people, 60 puppeteers to operate the 60-foot tall. But they had them anywhere, I think it was from 1 foot tall to 12 feet tall.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool too.
Bebo, you got anything on the movie?
I got a couple of things here. Some of the things that I thought were a little interesting here is, I thought this was interesting. It's the only movie in which comedy legends Steve Martin and Bill Murray appear together.
And they hated each other. Yeah. What I heard.
Yeah, so this was like the only movie that they actually were in together. I mean, they weren't necessarily, you know, of course, in the same scene, besides that one thing, which is the only scenes that they're actually in, you know, that Bill Murray was in. But other than that, they never acted again together, and I can't think of anything else that they were ever in myself.
I can't either.
Another thing I thought was kind of interesting is that the surgical tools that you see laid out, that they used in that scene with Bill Murray, that he just was a little too
Too excited about?
A little too excited about. Those were they used those same tools in the original Batman with Michael Keaton. Those were the same tools used when they were doing the Joker after he fell into the pit.
Oh, I didn't know
that's
that.
The vat of acid, and they were surgicing him up. Those are the same tools you see on the table. So I thought that was cool. And Eddie Murphy was originally considered to do the voice of Audrey 2.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the voice for Audrey 2, and the singing voice, which I really loved, was originally one of the Four Tops, I think it was.
It was. Let's see.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Let me see. It was. I mean, you said Vincent. No, that's not. It's not Vincent. Let's see. Audrey 2 is Levi Stubbs.
Levi Stubbs.
Yeah. Levi Stubbs. Little quick Google for you, right there. I got something. Oh man, and I lost it. Let's see. How they got Audrey 2 to sing opposite Rick Moranis was, according to Oz, it was a pain in the ass. The lips on the plant did not look right moving at the normal speed of 24 frames per second. So they couldn't move fast enough to properly sync up to pre-recorded songs. So they filmed it at 12 to 16 frames per second. So anytime you have the actors singing next to the puppet, they're actually lip syncing in slow motion.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And let's see.
I got one too that I thought was pretty interesting. That the song Mean Green Mother from Outer Space towards the end of the movie was actually the first Oscar nominated song in a movie to include profanity.
Oh.
So I never knew that. I thought that was pretty cool.
I've got a question for Mikey.
Okay.
Is this the movie that started your love affair of musicals?
Maybe a secret love affair with musicals. No, I think I started watching musicals. Like, this was the first ever musical that I watched. Yes. I did watch it probably 87, like after it came out when it was on HBO. So I did watch it then. Never went to the theater and saw it in 86. I was only 6 years old. So HBO was the first time I saw it. It's probably
be honest, you had the poster above your bed. Don't lie.
Yeah, no, I know I had the tape, the cassette, the VHS cassette.
The VHS?
Yes, I know I had that. No, there were probably several musicals that I enjoyed, but it wasn't until later. It wasn't until I got older. Fiddler on the Roof was probably one of the first ones I enjoyed, and that was like 97.
What would you say is your favorite you've ever seen?
Favorite musical of today, or like all time?
All time.
All time.
I got mine.
Man, I got mine.
I would say The Greatest Showman.
I never saw that live.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I've never saw it live.
Oh no, not live.
No. The movie itself, I love.
The movie is amazing. I love the movie.
Is amazing.
If you're talking about like theatrical play,
theatrical plays that you've actually seen.
Oh. Ooh, crap.
There's two that I really enjoyed. One was local, which was Fiddler on the Roof by Theater Winter Haven. That one was very good. That was in 97. But I saw Wicked in 99 with Eartha Kitt at theater in Orlando at Bob Carr Performing Arts Center. So I think it was Bob Carr. And that one was real good. So that's kind of like the big production play I've really only seen at a major theater. Most of them have been local in movies.
I don't think I've seen a local play. That had song.
Yeah,
musical.
I did see Cats.
Musical.
You did see Cats on Broadway, didn't you?
I did. You know what? You're right. You jogged my brain.
I remember that.
I saw Cats in. So yeah, if I had to choose one
on Broadway. on
Yeah,
Broadway,
I
nonetheless.
did see it on Broadway. I was in high school at the time. I was.
You're forced to go.
Yeah, I've seen Cats. I've seen Cats. My parents took me to see it when I was younger. The
Right.
one play I've always wanted to see that I've never seen or musical is Phantom of the Opera. I've never seen that, but it's one that I've always kind of wanted to just see it live action. But I wanted to see like the big production. We actually get to see the chandelier come down from like way up top.
Yeah.
And stuff. But I loved Wicked.
Wicked was great.
That was good. I'm not gonna lie. I bought the soundtrack for Wicked, but I bought it on vinyl.
So is it the one with Kristen Chenoweth, right?
Yeah. That's the record I bought is that, but the version I watched was not with her.
Okay.
Cool.
Anyway, back to the movie that we
sidetrack.
Hey, people like musicals. You might as well go into it, you know?
We had a squirrel moment. It's okay.
Hey, all good, man. It's the first musical review that we've done. So people might want to see the other ones from the 80s or 90s. There's a bunch.
You know what? Since we're talking about it, Cats was the one that I saw live, but my favorite musical movie it would be Grease. I love Grease.
Yes.
I would probably agree with you on that. Grease is probably up there for one of my all-time favorite musical movies.
All right, so back to Little Shop of Horrors. Oh man, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what I thought of this movie. Actually, I would not give this a bad grade, but I wouldn't give it a good grade. I think personally, it had great cameos. I digged some of the songs. It had a great cast, so I'm going to give this a 5, perfectly right down the middle. It's not good, it's not bad. It is your perfect 5. I could recommend it, and it would depend on the person who I'm recommending it to. So, right down the road, middle 5 for me. That's my thoughts. Bebo?
Mikey?
Oh, Bebo.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd probably go just a little lower with a 4. Just because for me, it was hard for me to watch this time around. Again, the music itself, there were some catchy tunes. I love the Dentist song. I thought, excuse me, I thought Steve Martin was excellent. His laugh to me was phenomenal. Every time he did it, I thought was phenomenal. And then the Audrey 2 singing, I thought was great.
Yes.
If you took out the Audrey 2 singing, like if you would have dubbed that with someone else, I don't know that I would have been able to stand the movie that long.
Yeah. It was like the perfect voice for that thing. It really was. It fit it perfect.
I don't know that I would necessarily recommend the movie, is why I'm giving it a 4. A little bit of nostalgia. I do like some of the songs, some of the characters. The cameos were really cool. I've forgotten a lot of the cameos, like Bill Murray being in it, John Candy. I forgot them. But I would give it a 4. So, Mikey, what about you?
I just have to say just a little bit higher. I'm in the 7 range. Just because, I do agree with you, Brian. I think that if someone doesn't like musicals, it's going to be very difficult for them to watch it. Because there are the slow songs like Suddenly Seymour, where they kind of have that turn. The love songs on there are very kind of like slow and they drag out. But the cameos are great. The characters, Bill Murray's character that loves pain, loves to be inflicted with pain. Steve Martin's character was perfect for it. The short time that it was on there. Ellen Green's voice has always drives me absolutely bonkers.
Yes,
I could not stand that.
Oh my god!
And she's supposed to have that's a character for her. So she's supposed to have that New York Bronx like Sheila, like that kind of.
It reminded me of Tiffany. Jennifer Tilly. It reminded me of Jennifer Tilly's voice.
Yes, that high pitched type of voice. Yeah, I mean, you watch her in other movies, and she's not that bad. You know, she was in Heroes. She played Siler's mother in Heroes, and she didn't have that high pitched type the accent, I guess you could say. So in this movie, it was just a hair bit annoying. So yeah, it's very difficult. Once you get past that, and you understand the premise of the movie, yeah, if they don't like musicals and they go based on that, I'm giving it a 7 because I enjoyed the movie as a kid. I still can sing along to, I know the words to all the songs. Don't hate me for it. Don't judge me. So,
you're being judged.
I know
being judged
by thousands or by poor people. No. But it's one of those to where it just sticks in your childhood and has that nostalgic. Like Willow last week with Brian. It's one of those movies where you watch it as a kid, and then watch it throughout the years, and as you get older, and you're kind of like, you know what, I want to watch that movie again. It might be hard to sit through, but it starts to give you feelings of when life was simpler sometimes, and being a kid again, and sitting there in front of the TV on, you know, watching it on HBO in your parents' house, and just being young again, you know, just having it be simple. And that's what I kind of enjoyed about the movie.
I can see that it brought you back to your childhood.
Yeah,
and really that's what Back to Retro is trying to do, is give you a little break from reality and bring you back to your childhood. So that's what we're
bring back
trying
those
to do.
good feelings, those, you know,
simple words,
those simpler days.
All right, guys. Well, I actually think that does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mikey and Bebo, I'm the Bearded Geek saying keep it retro.
Hey guys.
See ya.